Our current political climate is bonkers. There's all this obsession with make America great again, but it kind of makes you wonder what exactly that slogan even means. What about America that was great is not great now? And what I'd like to propose to you is this, that there is something that we could hearken back to that would make America great again. So let's go back to the 1960s. The civil rights movement is in full swing. People are having to protest just to share the same pool as their white neighbors. And while all this is going on, Mr. Rogers is flipping the whole scenario up on its head by having a black police officer share in a kiddie pool on his front lawn to keep his feet cold in the hot summer day. Now, Mr. Rogers seemed to have his finger not only on the pulse of what his viewers needed, but also on the pulse of the political climate at the time. He wasn't concerned with merchandising, he wasn't concerned with ratings, and this gave him a certain amount of street cred with his viewers. They knew that he wasn't out just to make a buck or to sell them on the next toy that was coming out next week. He was there because he genuinely cared about you.
I like how you look. I like the way that you feel. I feel that you have a right to be quite pleased with you. I'm glad you're the way you are. Yeah, I am.
In the late 60s, the Vietnam War was ramping up and getting out of control, and this cost money. So the Nixon administration proposes some funding cuts, specifically to public broadcasting. Nixon wants to cut funding for public broadcasting in half, from $20 million down to just 10. Now, Mr. Rogers, not being a big fan of merchandising or ratings, probably would have been one of the first shows on the chopping block after the cut happened. So in 1969, with this funding cut looming over public broadcasting and Mr. Rogers himself, Mr. Rogers goes to the Senate and makes a case for his show. This is how it went down. Or something like how it went down. This is kind of how it went down. It went down sort of, it was similar. Not exactly. It's close. This is close to how it went down.
Now, Mr. Rogers is certainly one of the best things that's ever happened to public television, and his Peabody Award is testament to that fact. We in public television are proud of Fred Rogers, and I'm proud to present Mr. Rogers to you now. Fred.
All right, Rogers, you got the floor.
Senator Pastore, this is a philosophical statement and would take about 10 minutes to read, so I'll not do that. One of the first things that a child learns in a healthy family is trust, and I trust what you have said that you will read this. It's very important to me. I care deeply about children. My first children...
Will it make you happy if you read it?
I'd just like to talk about it, if it's all right.
Sir. Okay.
My first children's program was on WQED 15 years ago, and its budget was $30. Now, with the help of the Sears Roebuck Foundation and National Educational Television, as well as all of the affiliated stations, each station pays to show our program. It's a unique kind of funding in educational television. With this help, now our program has a budget of $6,000. It may sound like quite a difference, but $6,000 pays for less than 2 minutes of cartoons, 2 minutes of animated, what I sometimes say, bombardment. I'm very much concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children. We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him to make drama on the screen. we deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters, and the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations. And we speak to it constructively.
How long a program is it?
It's a half hour every day. Most channels schedule it in the noontime as well as in the evening. WETA here has scheduled it in the late afternoon.
Could we get a copy of this so that we can see it? Maybe not today, but I'd like to see the program.
I'd like very much for you
I'd like to
it.
see the program itself, or any one of them, you see.
We made 100 programs for EEN, the Eastern Educational Network, and then when the money ran out, people in Boston and Pittsburgh and Chicago all came to the fore and said, we've got to have more of this neighborhood expression of care. And this is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health. I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger, much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes, and I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the scripts.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, stop, stop anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.